Patrick, Mason, thanks for sitting down with me and talking about your investment thesis and the firm's investment thesis in industrial lifting services. Walk me through, where you started, what was the idea and the genesis behind creating the thesis, and where we are today.
Yep, good question. So, for us, the best thesis is a fit of business characteristics as well as macro trends, right? And so industrial facility solutions was a market that we'd been looking at for some time. We started out looking at a variety of different equipment types, but really liked the CapEx, OpEx model where you sell a piece of equipment and then you provide service and planned maintenance on the back end for it. Ultimately, when we went through the process and, we talked to dozens of companies.
Yep.
And we landed on a partnership with Hoist Crane. What was so compelling for us about that was in this industry where everybody was selling new equipment and then doing the service, Hoist Crane had figured out how to focus on just doing the service without selling the new equipment. Further, they're one of the key industry players in that they were one of the largest independent providers of service in the entire country, and really built a platform focused on how do we get the right people in the door, train them up with our one-of-a-kind training program, and go out there and deliver the best service possible.
A lot of our sellers feel like a private investor like Compass Group is going to be all up in their business, right? I mean, that's not the right way to put it, but sellers believe that private equity is going to be very hands-on and telling them what to do. But that's not our style. So maybe talk about the difference between us and that perception.
Yeah, I think one of the things that our partner says that I always thought was a great line was that we don't invest in businesses, we invest in people that run businesses. And so finding that right management team and backing them to enable them to continue doing what they've done historically to have such a successful business is really what we try to do. And I think, we were having a conversation with a potential target a few weeks ago, and he was sort of vetting Matt to say, hey, I'm not sure how I feel about private equity. What has been your experience? And so, of course, Matt said, hey, it's only been, 6 months, but everything's been great. These guys do what they say they'll do. And so he was a great resource for us from that perspective. But he also mentioned, hey, before we weren't super interested in doing private equity either, but Compass Group connected me with a number of their current and prior executives that had partnered with them, and they all had nothing but good things to say, and they reiterated these guys do what they said they were going to do. And so that gave Matthew and Terry, the owners of Hoist Crane, a lot of comfort that Compass Group was the right partner to help them grow the business, but again, let them do what they've done over the last 30 years that has built such a great business.
I went to my desk today and there's a box on it. It said from Matthew Ross, and I opened it up, and as you know, we had a daughter about 6 weeks ago, and it was a nice card and a gift from Matthew and his family. That meant a lot to me. And earlier in the day, we'd been emailing back and forth about various ongoing strategy initiatives we have going on, and so it's a very collaborative partnership. It is one where we try to touch base at least once a week, but inevitably it's much more of that, and certainly more so as we explore M&A, because everything we do is collaborative and through that partnership lens where we are working with Matt to say, hey, here's opportunities we've vetted. Are they a fit for you? Because at the end of the day, we can talk to Matthew and say, hey, look, here's a business that's got $10 million of revenue. We think it'd be great to add that, but if there's not that cultural fit, if there isn't a shared vision and alignment that has to happen from the top down with Hoist Crane, it's not going to work. We're never going to shove that opportunity at them and say, hey, we're buying this, right? It's got to be a collaborative approach.
What are the areas that we see the most opportunities for growth?
Sure. So Hoist Crane has an industrial services segment that has grown tremendously over the last number of years, and we think that that segment of the business is just getting started. a vast majority of Hoist and Crane's core customers have industrial elevators in their facility, and they need those serviced, inspected, and repaired. So that's a key one for us. Another one that I think we're going to focus on heavily over the next number of months is the overhead door and dock level space. Again, a lot of their existing customers have these needs, and the more that they can cut, the more the customer can cut down on the number of vendors that they have to work with, the better. And so we think those are two great opportunities to grow those segments of the business over the next number of years.